WHCR 90.3 FM New York. You just heard music from Mary J. Blige that's called My Life. Of course, the original to that was Everybody Loves the Sunshine, done by Roy Ayers, Ubiquity. And the man himself is with us here live in studios at WHCR, so he could probably tell you how that whole thing came about with Mary and so forth, and a whole lot of other things. We have a man here who's done countless number of music and albums and shows and so forth. So we're going to talk about all of that, as well as some other things he's doing to help the community out as well. Some information that's important to us all. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce and welcome Roy Ayers up here to WHCR, Harlem Community Radio 90.3 FM.
Well, thank you. Good evening, and thank you for that lovely introduction. And of course, being here at WHCR is really a special honor for me to be here tonight.
Yes, definitely, and we welcome you here. Of course, it's not often that we get someone of your stature, of your caliber, that actually takes the time out to come down to a community station like ours. Usually, we have a lot of ego thing going on, and
right.
You know, people don't feel that we're important enough once
well,
they
I think
get
you know. Right, I'm overdue. So I've been living in New York since 1966, and of course I travel a large amount of the time that I'm here or not here, and I've never had the pleasure of coming to WHCR, and of course through Soul Underground, I'm coming here, and of course with the permission of you at the station. So it's really a wonderful experience for me to be here to speak to you and feel the vibrations.
Definitely. And you started out in Los Angeles, California.
Yes, I did.
And what was life like growing up there at your particular point in time?
I'm now 60 years old, and I'm very proud to be 60. Everybody has to be some number, and my number happens to be 60 right now. But when I grew up in Los Angeles, California, I was so very much inspired by the composition, by the sunshine, that I decided to compose that composition that you spoke of earlier, that Mary had sampled, Mary J. Blige, that is. And I reflected, I look back at the years that I grew up in Los Angeles, California, and in my early years there used to be a great, vibrant sun that was there. Now the sun is still there, but there's an overcast of a lot of smog. It's quite different now there. People that didn't grow up there wouldn't really know what I was talking about, but there was a certain degree of brightness that no longer is out there. It's bright and the sun looks good and the weather's great, but I was inspired to compose the composition of how I saw the sun when I was younger. Okay,
and how did the whole Mary J. Blige situation come about? Did she actually approach you and say, I want to, use your music for a new composition that I'm working on my album, or did you just hear it and you had to go to her? And
no, generally what happens is that the artist will sample a song and record it, and then they will seek the composer and or the publisher to get permission to use it. This is what most artists do when they're sampling or when they're recording someone else's material. And even if they're just re-recording the song, they'll do the same thing. So it was, oh man, that's so cool. That sounds like it's cool in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
And whenever I hear cool, I always say that's cool. That is cool. I like it the way it flowed in. You got a nice setup here, brother.
Oh yeah, thanks.
It's very laid out. It's very nice. Anyway, and that's what happened. And of course, we go through the licensing aspect of it, and when it came out, it started hitting right away, and it's done very well. And in excess of 3 million copies
wow.
She sold. And I'd like to say, other than the fact that I'm really honored that she sampled my music as well as all of the other rappers. I just want you to know that I got a very nice check for that.
and a very extensive catalog. So if you want to use some more stuff, right. I'm sure you wouldn't mind some people.
Oh no, but it's been happening. I've been sampled more than James Brown.
Wow.
So I got more sampled hits than all of them, James and George Clinton. And I'm not bragging, but I guess I am.
Yeah, brag a little bit.
But it feels real good that people are picking my music. And I was telling some people earlier that one of the things about sampling, when people sample your music, they are saying, in fact, that this is the best music for their composition that they're writing. and so or for their words or what have you. So it's really a great honor for me to have had them sample my music, and they're continuing to do so. So I mean, the list goes on, and it's incredible. People like Will Smith, of course, Mary J, a tribe called Quest,
Right, right.
Brand Nubian.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible. Every Big Daddy Kane. I mean, I can go on and on and on.
Endless.
TLC. I mean, it goes. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Other than the fact that I've done that, I've been working with a lot of the new artists on the scene, which makes me even feel that much younger, man. Because people are attracted to my sound and to my style, and people like Erykah Badu, and people like Eric Benet, and people like The Roots, and people like Guru, and people like it's incredible the things that are happening. I've worked with so many great artists, including all the pretty ladies like Vanessa Williams, and I mean, it's just wonderful. Whitney Houston. And so, the list goes on and on and on. Not to mention the people that I've worked with, like Herbie Hancock and George Benson, and some of the great jazz artists out here. So it's been and continues to be a wonderful career for me, going on and on, playing music and experience the beautiful vibrations from the public.
Now, is the process different working with the new artists as compared to some of the older artists that you work with, or is the process pretty much the same as far as coming together and putting together music?
The thing that's very similar is that everybody, old or young, are all professional, and that's what I like about it, because there's a professional courtesy and a professional attitude and a professional mannerism, because they all know what to do, because they're professional people in the music industry, and they've done it before I got there. And whether they're old or young, they all just know how to carry themselves and take care of business, and that's refreshing and wonderful.
Absolutely. And do you think there's a correlation between some of the newer artists, particularly the rappers, using your music because they're trying to get out a certain message, and they had that message in their music, and back when you were recording in the 70s and 60s and times like that music was more message oriented? Do you think there's a relation to that?
I think so. I think that because my music does have a message, quite often it stimulates the other artists to sample my music or play my music or use it. The other thing is that the thing that I found out is that the artists pick my music because of the sound. See, it's the sound that I had, and this is interesting. This is going to be an interesting statement I'm going to make. I had no idea of what my sound was going to do to people later, and of course it did it to them at the time. But when any musician or artist out here performs and releases a record, they're releasing the best record to the best of their ability, I'm sure, and especially sound-wise and creatively. So when I released it, I had no idea that when the 1980s were going to roll around, that people were going to start sampling music, because it had never happened before. And it started happening. And I've asked many people, especially at the beginning of it, I said, well, what is it that's making them sample my music the most? And everybody said, it's just sound, Roy. I said, wow, because I didn't know, you follow me? I
follow you.
Yeah. It's a great thing. It's wonderful. I'm very excited about it.
Absolutely. Well, let's get to some of your sounds right now. We're going to take people back a little bit with a cut from He's Coming, called We Live in Brooklyn.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
We're going to do that, and we're going to get into some new material that you have, because you are doing new music. It's not like you're still living off of your old hits. You are making things current,
right.
So people need to know that as well. You have 2 new releases right here, Perfection.
Right, that's the new one.
As well as Smooth Jazz.
Exactly.
So we're going to get into some things from those 2 pieces as well. So, matter of fact, what should we get into? What do you think the people should really hear?
Well, I like to let them hear Perfection, the composition called Thick and Thin, off of the Perfection CD. It's a very simple composition. I wanted to explain it briefly. It's called Thick and Thin, and it features me on vibes and vocals, and I'm blending the 2 together. Whereas I sing part of it and I say, through thick and thin, there will be you and I, eternity. The choice is yours. Make up your mind. Reaching for the sunshine. And I'm sure everybody can understand what I'm saying. Through the hard times and the good times, there will be you and I, eternity, spending our lives together. And the choice is yours. Make up your mind. Reaching for the sunshine. And the sunshine is the greatest power in the universe, I believe. So the sunshine is the ultimate goal. and then I play the vibes, and that's an enhancement of life.
Strong words right there from Mr. Roy Ayers.